Buyer demand surges. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Still working through my stein of coffee, and I thought we'd look at this article from Domain discussing buyer demand surging. Now, in some ways, I can't say I'm not surprised. You've got people with the opportunity to get super out. You've got a couple there. Just think, and not that this is, I'm just guessing, if they each got, they're 20 grand out, 40 grand, and they got a grant, another 25 grand, there's going to be people that will be looking at the market. Maybe they've got savings, maybe they've got 20 grand aside. All of a sudden, it's looking like reality. And I'm just noticing his nice mono-color beard he's got there with a new little child. Yeah, that ain't going to last, mate. Grey creeps in very quick, and that's all from lived experience. Thumbs up or like if it was your wife who told you were going silver when you're already half there, because I didn't realize. And this is coming from someone who records himself every morning. Well, there you go. Would-be buyers scope out options ahead of housing construction stimulus package. Buyers eyeing off the federal government's multi-billion-dollar construction package are already purchasing land in anticipation of receiving at least $20,000 in assistance, industry pundits report, with inquiries in some regions tripling over the weekend. And we now know it's $25,000, and I plan to do another video where they're discussing some of the intricacies of this scheme. And, well, I'm not surprised inquiries are tripling. The package expected to be announced this week is expected to help prop up the building industry to avoid a massive economic slowdown brought on by the pandemic, offering grants to existing purchasers as well as first home buyers. And think about it. The young couple here with a new child, they're buying a house, and it falls. It takes a bit of a hit. But if it's your first house, if you're there for a long time, you got time to ride it out. You got time to sit in there for a good 10, 20 years. And, it depends if you can handle being in negative equity there. Master Builders Association recently proposed a new home buyers grant of $40,000 as a way to stem the industry's crisis, revealing traffic through show homes was down 90% across the country since the start of the pandemic. And we know now it's that 40 grand isn't materializing, but you gotta shoot high. You gotta give a figure for them to come back at. But with the news that a stimulus package announcement was imminent, the turnaround in traffic to show homes and land sales displays has been immediate, frontline sales staff say. And I would also add, I think people have stopped caring about the pandemic. They just, it's what it is. Are you seeing people social distancing? I'm hardly seeing it anymore when I go out. People don't seem to care. But Jamie Martin, sales manager at Providence South Ripley in southeast Queensland, said he had never seen anything like it as people lined up over the weekend to secure a block of land. We've seen visitor numbers double overnight, and our traffic over the weekend tripled, he said. Buyers are wanting to get a foot on a block in anticipation of the announcement. People aren't sitting on their hands. It's a land frenzy. For Alistair Hills and his wife Kimberly, they hope to qualify for a grant, having just signed on a house and land package in the Providence estate just 2 weeks ago. Mr. Hill said having access to extra cash to start their build, if they qualify, would be extremely helpful. It would be an incredible blessing, really, Mr. Hill said. It would give us a lot more room to do the little things we wish we could do, like landscaping, which you don't really budget for straight away. And he's got a good point. That's the stuff you do by yourself, bit by bit. Metricon Homes has seen a substantial boost in the number of inquiries, with Chief Executive Mario Basin reporting record numbers. With the talk and speculation of a new home buying grant, we've seen record visitor numbers to the Metricon website and strong return visits to display homes in all the states that we operate in, including Victoria, New South Wales, South Australia, and Queensland, he said. With each state easing restrictions at different rates, we saw staggered market activity, but now all of our markets are enjoying above pre-pandemic levels, and with the promise of a grant, a strong level of inquiry across all of them. So, I mean, this is the pent-up demand. There's a whole lot of people that want to crack in the housing market, and I think some of them will jump at this opportunity. They'll jump at it. ABN Group Managing Director Dale Alcock, who manages house and land package sales in Victoria and WA through several companies, including Home Buyer Centre, said more clarity was needed around what was being offered, and we've got that now. He called on the government to announce the package sooner rather than later, and also said it should include a retrospective element to allow those who bought earlier this year to benefit from the scheme. And he's right. You'd get real annoyed if you've just signed a contract 2 weeks ago and don't qualify. Or we're worried that people could be put off their decisions to buy until the announcement, he said. We agree more buyers are coming back to the market in Melbourne and Perth as restrictions eased, and buyers were looking to change the layout of their homes to include a home office instead of an extra bedroom and a gym rather than a home cinema. Now that is really interesting. That is really interesting. And that's fantastic. I like that. You can see more people will be working from home. More people will have a gym from home. It's probably better to have that than having a home cinema. Isn't that a living room? Okay, it's all different. You know, they all posh it up. I'm still shocked at how much money people spend to store IKEA stuff. The pandemic is really making people reassess what they want in their home, he said. While there have been no firm details released, Treasurer Josh Frydenberg hinted at some of the details of the package at the press conference on Monday. He said the government, and now they have, he said the government urgently wanted to boost construction, whether it is new houses or otherwise. New house construction makes up 5% of the Australian GDP and employs 1 million people directly or indirectly, with many affected by business closures, job losses, and the lack of activity due to the pandemic, he said. It's not just the sparky and the plumber and the carpenter on the building site. It's also the timber mill, he said. It's also the appliance manufacturer for the new kitchen. It's also those who help with the materials that go into the bedroom, into the bathroom. Now, here's the thing. I went to Bunnings on the weekend. I bought a little piece of pine just to as a stop on a door. And it came from New Zealand. Now, you want to make sure that a certain proportion of building materials in these houses are Australian sourced. Maybe that could be a condition of the grant. I mean, in the end, if your main objective is just to keep the economy moving, keep people spending, keep tradies in business, keep those skills up, then you don't really care where the materials come from. So there's two sides to the argument. The government is expecting dwelling investment overall to be down 20% in the June quarter across the country. Mr. Frydenberg said the package will be temporary, like other initiatives introduced to boost the wider economy during the pandemic. And we'll go through the details of the grants in another video. And we're starting to see more first home buyers enter the market, look at opportunities, look at where they can buy land to build own. There's some concern that these packages, which have an emphasis on people buying and building, will kind of reduce the cost of established properties. There's some players that are worried about that. We'll have to see. Because you've got to remember, guys, buying an established property has a whole lot of advantages over building. Building is a hassle. There's risk elements associated with it, even for a little specky. There's unknowns. Sure, this just should be pretty, it's suburbia. The area they're buying in shouldn't be much of an issue. There shouldn't be very few. The unknowns should be quite easily managed. But still, there's risks associated with that. So what do you think, guys? Are you rushing out to have a look? Are you waiting on your hands? We'll have to see what happens. We will have to see. I think there are going to be people that will jump at this. As always, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and you'd like to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. Simply liking, commenting, and sharing the videos helps a lot. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon for a small monthly fee. You can support us via our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay or Independent Reserve and Kucoin. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.